All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his words and truth and then sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. And what I want to get into, this afternoon, was dealing with a video I seen, dealing with, propaganda, of what's going on, with the war and the effect, that it's having on, the American economy. Now, what I want to touch on first is how this is an empire of lies. Okay, this Edomite ruled society is an empire of lies, man. It was founded, on lies, okay, and is maintained by lies, okay. Esau Edom, runs the earth where pretty much almost everything that people believe is a lie, some type of deception, okay. People believing they're African Americans, black, okay, Chinese, Japanese, Africans, people believing in all these different religions that are pushed his version of Christianity, that plantation Christianity, you know, his narratives of history, okay? The earth billions of years old and the ice age and all this madness, evolution, all right? This man has pushed, all this deception in the earth, okay, as he established his kingdom. Matter of fact, let's get that in Nahum, then we'll get that. All right. When you go to the book, all right, of the prophet, Nahum chapter 3, okay, it said, "Woe to the bloody city, it is all full of lies and robbery, the prey departeth not." Okay. And this city, mainly of America, America is likened to, Babylon, all right, the great, like a huge city, but it says, "Woe to the bloody city is full of lies and robbery, the prey departed not." And that's the children of Israel who are enslaved. Okay, you have a large amount of Israelites enslaved, to this city. Okay, but when you go to Matthew chapter 8, Yahushua made the statement, and he was addressing, you know, um, the wicked of our people. Okay, it's like John 8, but he was addressing the wicked of our people, especially those in leadership position who had pretty much made an alliance, to the Roman government. And as Yahushua is addressing them, he makes a statement, okay, because our people were linked, to the Roman government back then, and Yahushua, was cursing their ass out. And this is what he told them. He said, "Why do you not," this is John 8 and 43. It says, "Why do ye," Salaki. It says, "Why do you not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my word? Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do." Because it wasn't set up, for a lot of leaders of our people then, going back to the time of the Romans, to believe, because they were pretty much sellouts, man. Okay, and they were trying to rule Israel like Esau was ruling his empire. Okay, and you had the chief priest, the high priest, okay, and the higher ups. When you go into the Sadducees, okay, the Sadducees was pretty much, the aristocratic, class of Israel at that time, and they didn't even want to deal with Israelites that was of the lower class. They kept everything in house. Okay, so you had Jake coming in the same energy of these Edomites, man. And Yahushua is telling them about it, man. It says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. And see, people understand that, that this man will lie about particular things, but they don't understand that there's no truth in him. Okay? Everything about this man empire is based on some form of deception, man. There is no truth in him. Okay? This is how this man is built. He's not built to be truthful, man. Okay? It says, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Okay? This man is the originator of lies, man. Okay, this is that's the only thing he true to, is being a liar, man. Okay? So when you see, this propaganda in the news, this is the only way this man knows how, okay, to rule, is in falsehood. Okay? That's why when you go into that word, let's see. Go into the word, go to the word devil. Okay? Say get to pull up. All right, because we in time now as Esau Edom is being right. Because and that's why, pretty much he's being called out, on every level. His own people, the prophets is calling him out. Okay, different social media sites is going into this man's lies. He's being investigated. Okay, let's see. Why I won't pull up. Let's try this. Let's try this. If not, we'll just keep moving. All right, come. I'll try later on. But what I want to do, is go into this little clip, okay? Because, as I was doing a lesson, yesterday, speaking on the global, cyber war, that they're speaking to come. Brother had, made a statement like he was waiting on me to respond, to, the war. Well, pretty much the war is more propaganda than the actual war. That whole conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Okay? And it's more of a war on the global economy than the war between, two countries of Russia and China. It's more of a war on global economy. Okay? And mainly here in America. That's why Americans, in America, what are we experiencing? Okay? Inflation. A constant, bubble, of inflation, man. Okay? And all they're doing with Russia is setting them up to be a scapegoat. Using them as a scapegoat as the American government is at war with the people, man. Okay? That's the real war, man. The government versus the people, man. All right, so I'm gonna play this clip, and we'll go from there.
Download the Domino's app today and become a Piece of the Pie Rewards member to earn points toward free pizza.
Out the Biden administration over a flat-out lie. Yesterday, Joe Biden was asked about gas prices increasing, and he said it was all on Vladimir Putin.
It's going to go up. Can't do much right now. Russia's responsible.
But Senator Cruz isn't having that.
That boy said it's gonna go up. Listen to
tweeted,
y'all president,
"This is a
man.
flat administration over a flat-out lie." Yesterday, Joe Biden was asked about gas prices increasing, and he said it was all on Vladimir Putin.
It's going to go up. Can't do much right now. Russia's responsible.
But Senator Cruz isn't having that. He tweeted, "This is a flat-out lie. Gas prices have increased 48% under Biden before Russia invaded Ukraine. Biden did that. That's because Biden killed Keystone Pipeline, froze federal leases, shut down ANWR, all while Biden waived sanctions on Putin's pipeline."
So, do niggas know about that? Do people know about that? Okay. You have everybody that have all this hatred towards Biden, but did they know, all this hatred towards Putin? Okay. You got niggas saying pray for Ukraine, man. Come on, man. Okay. Don't have a clue what's going on, but they don't know about any other policies, that Biden, this Biden Harris administration put in place to cripple, the oil economy, to cripple, Americans' independency, of their own oil reserves. Okay? That's not being talked about. But you got all this Russia-Ukraine propaganda that has nothing to do with the prices going up on oil here, man. Okay?
The price of gas has hit a new national average record of $4.17 a gallon, and in some states like California, it's over $5. However, the price of gas has been surging long before Russia invaded Ukraine. Due to supply chain issues and demand after the coronavirus pandemic, the price of gas has been nearing $4 a gallon for months. However, it did go up by 55 cents following sanctions placed on Russia. Those high prices, as well as inflation in general, which hit a 40-year high, has been one of the central issues affecting Americans under the Biden administration. President Biden announced a few days ago that the US would halt all imported oil and refined products from Russia in retaliation over the country's decision to invade Ukraine. Fox News' Peter Doocy probed the press secretary on this today.
We have heard the president warn for months the gas prices were rising because of the supply chain and because of post-pandemic demand. If you guys knew for months that this was going to be the hashtag Putin price hike, why are we just hearing that now?
Well, Peter, if we go back to 6 months ago, I don't think anybody was predicting we would be exactly where we are as it relates to Russia and Ukraine. As you know, that events in the world, including the invasion by Russia of a foreign country, does prompt instability and volatility in the global oil market.
Last year, the US imported about 8% of its oil and refined products from Russia. So in order for the hole in the market not to affect the economy dramatically, the government will need to fill that void. There has been calls from both Republicans and Democrats to ramp up domestic production of oil instead of reaching out to Saudi Arabia, Mexico, or Iran for help. RNC Research tweeted this video that took place last June of Republican Garrett Graves calling out Biden Interior Secretary Deb Haaland for increasing imports of Russian oil.
How much oil was imported from Russia in May or June of last year to the United States?
Congressman, I don't have that figure at the top of my head.
All right, let me make sure I came out of my mouth correctly. Imported to the United States from Russia. So last May and June, it was none. It was zero. And this was during the Trump administration. Do you know how much has been imported for May and projected to be imported for June from Russia?
I don't have that figure on the top of my head.
It was nearly 6 million barrels for the month of May, and it's projected to be in excess of 7 million barrels for the month of June. Russian oil imported to the United States, and this is under the Biden administration compared to Trump administration. It's very baffling to me to see how we're seeing shutdowns, moratoriums, whatever pauses, whatever term you want to use, for production in the United States whenever it does have a big impact on jobs, economy, and we're increasing our reliance upon economies that I wouldn't consider to be friendly. We're also effectively facilitating the construction of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, expanding markets for Russian oil by withdrawing the sanctions, President Biden's withdrawal of sanctions on Russian intelligence operatives that are building the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. So very concerning.
Fox News Digital.
So what you had during the Trump administration, Trump had pretty much, had America, self-sufficient, on his oil and his gas. Okay. But under Biden, he started importing oil, from Russia. Okay, which at the end of the day, it's above Biden and Putin and Trump. Okay, they're just the figureheads. Okay, so Biden created a dependency. The Biden administration created a dependency on Russian oil, and then he stopped the imports of Russian oil. Okay, which did what, man? Cripple the American oil market. You see, the war is against you American people, man. Okay? Not Putin. Putin not affected. Putin got billions and billions of dollars. Okay? People in his regime got all type of money and assets. And folks not affected, man. Okay? It's the government versus the people. That's the war. And it's disguised as Russia versus Ukraine, man. Okay? The Russian people are suffering. Ukrainian people are suffering, but the governments are not suffering, man. Okay? And America is going to get it the worst, man, because they know in order to establish, some type of, a global reset, they know America has to be, the American citizens have to be weakened tremendously, man.
Interviewed a former Keystone Pipeline worker who said he's seen the writing on the walls for a while, and the higher gas prices aren't a result of Russia invading Ukraine.
There's no energy company going to spend the money to develop a new lease if they can't build a pipeline to move the project. And that's the kind of things that are taking place behind the scenes. Jen Psaki, your policies, your boss's policies have everything to do with the rising fuel prices in this country today. It has nothing to do with the war in Ukraine. The very first thing, my recommendation would be, we've got to get the administration's foot off the throats of the energy companies and let them do what they do best. We're not saying don't build windmills or solar farms. Start building them. Have fun. Do it. It'll be part of the energy sector, but don't kill the part of the economy and what we depend on right now is what I'm saying. We don't know when we'll be able to make that switch, but right now this country runs on oil and gas, and it makes no sense for the Americans to suffer higher prices.
So that's another thing why you heard, this whole kick, dealing with electric cars and and they're spending money, within their infrastructure. I was looking into it the other day. You have, even in Mississippi, I believe they're looking forward to spend close to $50-60 million on infrastructure, for electric cars, man. So we're seeing a transition, from currency. We're seeing a transition from how, the elites want to, these nations to function as far as not off of oil, but off of electricity, man. This man wants complete and absolute control. Okay? He wants complete and absolute control, man. Okay? This man's New World Order is his attempt to say that he is. Okay? Now, let's go here. Like I said, which we always get it. But to drive home the point, this 2 Thessalonians 2, okay, and 7, it says, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So the mystery of iniquity, is Esau Edom. All right, and he was ruling during the time that this letter was wrote, this epistle was wrote as the Romans. Okay, and he's back in power in this new Roman Empire of America, NATO, and the EU. Okay, and he's been allowed, to forward, his empire in lies and wickedness until the time where he's going to be removed. Okay, it says, and then shall that wicked be revealed. Okay, because he's revealed. Okay, people are calling this man an Edomite. Okay, this man is revealed, man. Regular conversation is now, to talk about Edomites, man. Okay, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. That's beginning with the prophets, the spirit of the Lord's mouth, the mouthpiece of the Lord, which are the prophets. All right, and we're going to prophesy and reveal this, man, until the coming of Yahushua, who's going to show up in the brightness of his coming and destroy this man. Okay, verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all powers and signs and lying wonders. Okay, and this is what we're seeing through his technology and his smart cities and his infrastructure and all these different things. These are lying wonders, man. The promise of upgrading humanity and H plus, beyond humans and all these different things. It's a lying wonder, man. Okay? So at the end of the day, this man runs an empire of lies, all right, which is soon to be stopped. Okay, so Lord will, you brothers and you few sisters will edify till the next time I say shalom.